Welcome back to Glee UFC. Today, I'm going to be building my favorite card of the year, debatably. You heard that right. Favorite card of the year, numbered event, pay per view, fight night, doesn't matter. UFC Paris is always so good. The crowd is insane. The fights are always great. Last year was generational. We had, I think, 9 knockouts, um, like double digit finishes. Main event was all right, but it was a great card. I love UFC Paris. So I'm gonna be building UFC Paris, and there's gonna be some things that UFC 329 that just happened are gonna affect some of the fights that I make on this. Now, before I start, I want to clarify that I'm making this as if it's a fight night. Uh, I don't think there's been like official rumors, but a lot of people have wanted them to make this a pay per view and do Aspinall versus Gane rematch. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to put that in November on the MSG card. So let's get straight into this. I'm going to be doing 10 fights, okay? So I'm not going to do all 13, 14 fights. I'm going to leave some room for some random prelims that they're going to make, but I'm going to do 10 fights. And I will say, I think I made this a little too stacked, but a man can dream. First fight of the night, Davy Grant versus Jakob Viklach. I fucking love Davy Grant, dude. I love Davy Grant so much. He's so sick. He's just a crafty little vet. And I think that's a perfect fight for Jakob Viklach. He's had 2 wins. They've been all right. Like, nothing too impressive. Beat Patty by a boring decision. And then I forgot who he beat in his last fight, but won by submission. Really good on the ground. Really good grappling. But I don't know. I would like to see this fight, see if because this is what David Grant does, dude. He takes these prospects and he just crafts up these little crafty vet kickboxing decisions. And David Grant's just one of those kickboxers. He's one of those fighters where you could just tell, like, oh, this dude's been training for a while. Like, he just looks experienced in there. He's got all these crafty little combos, and yeah, I think this would be an interesting fight. I would love to see this. David Grant had exactly what I was just talking about. He had a crafty little vet decision in his last fight. I think that was UFC. I forgot where it was. It was sometime in March, April, sometime in the spring. So yeah, I want to see this. And they like to add, like, of course they like to add as many Frenchmen as they can, but like they often put like a lot of like Europeans on this card. So I think this would be perfect. Next up, Iwo Baranowski versus Modestas Bukauskas. I think this is a perfect matchup. Bukauskas coming off a split decision in his last fight. Iwo Baranowski has just been tearing through everybody so far in the UFC. I think he's 3-0. I want to say beat Junior Tafa, beat Ibo Aslan. I think there was somebody in between there. There was definitely, but I can't remember. I think he would absolutely kill Modestas Bukauskas. I think it'd be a second round knockout. But this would be a good challenge. I think Bukauskas would be his toughest fight yet. He's very skilled. He was on a little bit of a streak, but Bukauskas has always just been like kind of like an average fighter. But again, would be a good test to show us, can Baranowski really compete in the ranked section of the division? And yeah, this would be sweet. Next up, dude, did I cook or what? Axel Sola versus Nicholas Mota. This would be sick. These guys are both really fun to watch. This would be a great stand-up fight. Axel Sola does have a fight booked against Ismail Bonfim, which I think he'll win, and I don't think that Ismail Bonfim will do enough damage for like Axel Sola to not be able to fight on this card. But we're gonna be cutting it close. Like, I think, like, I'm pretty hopeful that Axel Sola can fight, but I'm not confident that he'll be able to make it in time. But if he can, Nicholas Moto would be a sick matchup. Um, Both these guys, they've been on and off in the UFC. I think Axel Sola only has 2 fights, 1 win, 1 loss. But both of them have looked great, even in their losses. Like, they're not bad losses whatsoever. So this would be fireworks. I think this would be a sweet fight. Next up, Umar Sy versus Jimmy the Brute Kraut. Mate, Jimmy the Brute Kraut He will make this fight exciting. Umar Sy is so boring to watch. You look at this dude, he's like a 6'7" jacked dude. Looks super he's super athletic. And then he jabs and leg kicks and tries to sit on top of you. Now Jimmy Crute also wants to go to the ground, but he makes it exciting. Like he wants to finish you. He's always getting in brawls. He's looked really good since he had a little layoff from MMA, I think. Came back and has been really cool to watch since then. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Crute. I think this would be a great matchup. Good grappling matchup. Might be a little boring, but I think again Jimmy Crute will make it a good fight. And yeah, Umar Sy is a terrorist. Next up, William Gomez versus Giga Chikadze. I think this would be a sweet kickboxing match. Again, Giga Chikadze, a lot like Davey Grant. One of those dudes you could just tell has been doing this for a while. Like his kickboxing is so slick. Probably slickest kickboxer in the 145 division, and one of the slickest kickboxers in the UFC. Now, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. William Gomez just lost to Pat Sabatini in a close decision. Pat Sabatini did his usual thing, held you up against the fence. But I think this would be a good opportunity to bounce back for both of these guys. It would be a really close matchup. Neither one of these dudes overpowers the others, so again, it would be a great way to bounce back for both of them. And yeah, I think this would be a cool fight. William Gomez, really solid fighter, just all around. Giga Chikadze's again got really cool kickboxing, so yeah, this would be sweet. Next up, come on, dude. Luke Riley versus Morgan Charrier. Luke Riley just got a knockout over Kai Kamaka the third this past weekend. A little bit of an early stoppage, but still looked really good. Hit him with a clean right hand. This would be a sweet fight. Morgan Charrier, of course, from France. They usually try to get him on this card. I don't remember his last fight, but I feel like he hasn't fought in a bit. So I think this would be sweet. It'd be a really good test for Luke Riley. Morgan Charrier, I think, is getting kind of overlooked because he's had some tough losses the past couple of years. But he's still an exciting fighter. This would be a really, really cool fight. I really hope they do this, actually. And yeah, Luke Riley didn't take much damage, so I think he can get back in there soon enough. Next up. Damn, we're kind of flying through this. Drew Dober versus Fares Ziam. I think this is a great matchup. Drew Dober is always kind of right outside the top 15. Fares Ziam was ranked, lost to Tom Nolan. I think this would be a good bounce back fight, and Drew Dober is always exciting to watch. He's coming off a really, really nice knockout over Michael Johnson. And yeah, I think this would be a good bounce back fight. I think this would be a really cool matchup. Fares Ziam's got nasty striking. Drew Dober is always looking to finish. And he's a dog. I think it would be really hard for Fares Ziam to put him out. And it'd be interesting to see. And yeah, if Fares Ziam can win this, he can try to find his way back into the, he would get a ranked opponent next, I believe. And yeah, try to find his way back into the lightweight division. This would be a really cool fight. Next up, Manon Fiorot versus Alexa Grasso. Alexa Grasso is coming off one of the nastiest knockouts, period. Definitely one of the nastiest knockouts in the women's division. One of the nastiest knockouts I've ever seen. Hit Macy Barber with a clean left hand and immediately wrapped her up into a guillotine. It was kind of scary. Just eyes rolled to the back of her head. I just went to look at what Manon Fiorot's last fight was, and I realized that this fight is already booked in September. Why didn't they do this in Paris, dude? This would have been sweet. All right, well, that one's off the list, which is fine because, again, I think I made this a little too stacked, so take that one off. Scratch that. Next up, Nasruddin Imavov versus Brendan Allen. Now, I feel so bad for Imavov. Man, he's proven that he deserves to fight for the title. He deserves that rematch with Sean Strickland. But I don't think they're going to do that. I shouldn't say that. I could see them doing it, but the UFC hates Imavov, and he's just been waiting around. His last fight was last year's UFC Paris when he beat Caio Borralho. And Brendan Allen's he's on a nice little streak. He beat Edmund Shabazian in his last fight. Really, really good win, in my opinion. It destroyed RDR, made him quit in the fight before that. And yeah, I think this would be great because both these dudes have fought Strickland before, so this is kind of like a who deserves the rematch more fight. And I think this would be a really interesting fight. I really don't know who I would pick. This would be a really, really close fight. Um, yeah, it'd be a really good co-main. Um, and now I'm kind of repeating last year's card because, except I'm just flip flopping the two. The UFC does this thing where like they feel like they like have to make the heavier divisions the main event and then the lighter divisions the co-main. Um, they didn't do that at the White House, which I thought was good, but I feel they did that last year, and I think they should flip it around this year because our main event, dude, come on, BSD versus Fiziev, come on. Fiziev didn't take much damage in his last fight. Had a nasty spinning wheel kick against Manuel Torres. BSD lost by submission to Patty, and didn't take any damage. Literally, just ran at him and got caught in a guillotine, which ended up turning into a Darce. I think this would be this. I think this is a great matchup. BSD's coming off a loss. Fiziev's coming off a win. I think BSD should fight like further down in the division. Lightweight's just too competitive. That was a really tough loss. None of his wins before that were like too crazy. Other than like Dan Hooker, I think that was a good win, but still, like Dan Hooker took him down, tried to take him down, and then he just reversed position and ground and pounded him. Wasn't that impressive. Still, a good win. Don't get me wrong, good win. But I think he should fight down, and I think Fiziev should fight up. And so I think this is a perfect matchup. Striker versus grappler. Um, this would be really, really interesting. Fiziev, his downfall is his grappling, but he does have decent grappling. Like if he's fighting a striker who has no grappling, um, he he likes to kind of go to the grappling, like he did against like Justin Gaethje. Um, yeah, I think this is a great matchup. I think BSD has nothing to really recover from other than like trying to not take people down like you're Kevin James and here comes the boom. Um, and yeah, this would be a sweet fight. Both these guys are really fun to watch. The crowd would be going nuts in this fight every time BSD lands a strike. Um, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Would you watch this card? Would you not be excited for it? I think this is a sweet card. Um, yeah, comment, subscribe, go follow my Instagram. If you're a fighter looking for strength and conditioning training, hit me up. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.